Hey, college football fans, this is Gary Green, longtime sports handicapper and professional sports bettor here in Vegas for the past 35 years. And this is your Gary Wins videos. And this is your fourth and final college football playoff preview for this week. And to me, it's the best matchup of the four, as Georgia will take on Notre Dame for a chance to go to the Final Four. This game is the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. This place will be rocking. Very close proximity for the Georgia fans. They seem to always get a good break in that department, but Notre Dame will travel well here too. It's the biggest game for Notre Dame in a long time. Now, this is the night game, 8:45 kickoff, the last of the three for New Year's Day games. We have Notre Dame 12-1 with 11 straight wins after they lost that crazy game against Northern Illinois in week number 2. They have just run rampant and destroyed everybody in their way. They have won every game by an average of 28 points, no win by under double digits. Meanwhile, Georgia comes in with their last two games being decided by 2 and 3 points. Now, for Georgia, they will have a new quarterback in there playing his first start. Their quarterback, Stockton, who did lead them to victory in the title game of the SEC. This kid's going to have a stiff test here against Notre Dame's defense. This game is going to be a defensive-oriented game. These are probably two of the better defenses of these 8 Final Four teams. And, of course, we know the 45.5 total is the lowest of the 4 college football playoffs by a wide margin. So that tells you it right there. But I think that both defenses are not just really good, but they are superior defenses. In fact, the secondary for Notre Dame is so good, they can leave them out there on an island. They get a great push, and they're very physical. And then you have Georgia, who is physical. They're fast, and I love their speedy secondary as well. So the big plays are probably not going to happen like we've seen in a lot of these other bowl games. This game is going to be a little bit coached closer, tighter to the vest, I think. But Georgia, as far as I'm concerned, they're much better on defense when they play the statue quarterbacks. That's why they were able to beat Texas twice, because Quinn Ewers is back there. He's not really a predominantly running quarterback, nothing like Riley Leonard will do for Notre Dame. So big difference there. That's why they beat Texas twice, but this is a different animal. As far as Riley Leonard, again, this kid is not just a passing quarterback. He's got 17 passing touchdowns. He's got 15 rushing touchdowns. The offensive line is very physical for Notre Dame. And the running back situation is just phenomenal as well. This kid loved the running back for Notre Dame is outstanding, 1,057 yards, 7.4 yards per carry. On another team, he's got 16 touchdowns. On another school, he'd probably be at around 16, 17, 1,800 yards. But this is a different type of team, and when he needs to run the ball hard, he can do it, and the offensive line does break holes open, but he's very, very physical and very fast. This team has basically worn out every defense that they faced in this 11-game winning streak. As for Georgia, me personally, I would never bet on a kid in his very first start in such a big game like this. I know he did okay in the last game, but he didn't have any time to think about it. Now he's got some practice time in. That's great. But again, he's now going against a very good defense. Now, I'll give you the numbers here in a second, but it's not like Georgia set the world on fire against that strong Texas defense that I love. And I've talked about that a lot. But, the funny thing is, I wasn't a big Carson Beck fan, so I don't see this as a big, tremendous drop-off loss, other than the fact of how they might, go about things and not allow this kid to get shaken early, take too many chances early, again, feel the game out. Where with Carson Beck, they could have just threw him out there and done anything they want. He's been in a lot of big games, and they could have expected him to make big pass plays. I haven't seen it yet out of Stockton, for the most part, for a whole game, so we'll see what happens there. The key here, though, is, the Georgia offensive line, against Texas, an elite defense. They did not dominate there. Okay, 37 rushes in one game for 141 rush yards, 3.8 yards per carry. In the other game, 154 yards rushing, and that was on 154 yards, one carry over 15 yards, 30 rushes, 108 yards for 3.6 yards per carry. So no big runs, no, under 4 yards a carry. If you do that in this game, you're not winning this game. It's plain and simple. So they're going to have to do a lot better. I don't expect Georgia's offense to bully ball against this Notre Dame defense. They couldn't do it against Texas. They're not doing it against this Notre Dame defense. I, again, don't see head coach of Georgia, Kirby Smart, doing anything crazy here with a raw quarterback. He'll try to play a chess game. He'll go back and forth until he sees what he has to do. I don't see him trying to let this kid go win the game in the first half. He'll play it out, see how his defense is playing. I think this game is called tight to the vest. I think it's going to be a struggle for very, very big plays. I think both teams want to out-physical the other one. I know that's a fact. It's which one can do it. So we're going to have one of the best hard-hitting games of these 4 playoff games, I believe. And this is the best matchup, and that's why the line is basically at a pick 'em. Pick the winner, and you'll win your bet there. But this is good old-fashioned throwback football. I like these kind of games once in a while. I'm an over better. I like to take team totals over. This is not that game. This is going to be a completely different animal. I think that this is the reason the lowest total of the playoff games is because they expect to see a lot of good defense played. A little bit, game, you look at Georgia, 22-19. The other game, they won by 2 points. I saw how a running quarterback, though, for Georgia Tech really abused this Georgia's defense. So you just remember little things like that. This is a tough game to bet. Right now, I have no bet on it. I'd like to give you a pick, guess at it, but that's not what I do. I'm in business as a winning professional bettor to try to have strong, solid games. Every game is not a bettable game. Every Thursday night, Monday night, I've had people complain over the years, and they say, hey, just pick the winner. It's a game on it. How am I going to watch it without betting? That's not my job. My job is to make money, and this is a very difficult game. I think this game's going to go down to the wire. I think the winning team's going to win by a field goal. So, again, there's no real advantage for me on either side. And, again, the total is very low, so it leaves very little margin for error for any mistakes. Fumble recoveries, tip balls, interception return, maybe a punt return, kickoff, what have you. So I'm leery of always betting unders with low totals that low. You can't have any mistakes. Now, would I be shocked if the final score's 13-10? No. But at the same time, I bet to try to get value. So very difficult game. I think it's going to be a fun game, though, after what we'll watch here in the first 3 games. And I think that the winner of this game is going to really show that probably the reason they've won this game is due to a dominant defense, and that's going to really, really wake up the other teams, whoever they're going to end up playing in the next round. So enjoy this game. I wish everybody a happy new year. Please drive safe out there, especially on New Year's Eve. Don't ever bet what you cannot afford to lose. Start with a bankroll on the first of the year here and bet smart. Don't bet parlays. Don't bet crazy. Don't try to chase back a loss or two if you run in a few losses. I had 4 losses in a row about 3 weeks ago. No damage done. Just go to the next game. No big deal. We're okay with that. The bottom line should be what your winning is at the end of a season. I grade myself at the very end of the college season and then at the end of the NFL season, and I do the same for college basketball. So if you do that, you'll stay in the game a lot longer. We hope that everybody has a healthy new year ahead, because that's the most important thing. And again, if you're listening to this video and you've not wondered where my video has been for a week, I was very sick with the sinus infection that just wiped out my voice. And really, I coughed nonstop, so I was unable to do any videos. But I'm going to continue to do them. There's 1 video up now for every playoff game, and we'll start doing some key NFL games for Sunday here very shortly. So have a happy new year, everybody.